You ever moved to a brand new city not knowing if you just made the smartest decision of your life or the biggest mistake? That's exactly where most people land when they start thinking about Houston. Now, stick with me for a bit because by the end of this, you're going to know exactly where you stand, whether you've got $50,000 to your name or $5 million. If we haven't met yet, my name is Armando. I'm a local realtor here in Houston, Texas. My job isn't just handing somebody a set of keys or shaking their hand for the camera. My job is making sure everything goes smoothly from the second you decide to move all the way to the second you're standing in your new kitchen with the boxes still stacked up in the corner. I close deals and I close them right. And I've sat across the table from people making the exact same decision you're trying to make right now. So let's get straight into it. A few months back, I had a guy sitting in my truck outside a house in Katy. I'll call him Mike. Mike had just sold his home in California. He had a good job, good paycheck, and he was just scared to death. Not because the numbers didn't work. The numbers worked great. He was scared because he didn't know if cheaper meant worse. He kept asking me the same question over and over, sitting in that passenger seat. He asked me, Armando, what's the catch? That question right there is why I made this single video. Now look, I already know what some of you are already thinking watching this. Of course, the realtor is gonna tell me Houston is great. He gets paid when people move here. I get it, and honestly, I think the same thing. So I'm not gonna stand here and hand you a fairy tale. I'm gonna give you the real numbers, the good, the bad, and the stuff nobody puts in the relocation brochure. So let's start with the thing everybody already brags about at that barbecue spot. Texas has no state income tax, zero. You're making $200,000 a year in California? Moving here puts roughly $12,000 back in your pocket every single year. Money that used to go straight to Sacramento. You're making $1 million a year? You're talking about $130,000 a year that stays in your account instead of somebody else's. But here's the part that nobody makes it into that conversation. Property taxes are some of the highest in the entire country. You're looking at an effective rate somewhere around 1.5% to 2% of your home's value, maybe even larger these days, every single year, for as long as you own the home. So here's a question for you. If somebody handed you $12,000 with one hand and asked for $6,000 back with the other, would you still call that a deal? Sit with that for a second, because that's the same exact math you're doing the day you cross that Texas state line. So let's zoom out past the taxes for a minute, because it's not just about the house. It's about everything around it. Overall, Houston runs close to 6% cheaper than the national average to actually live in. Housing is about 20% below the national average. Groceries are running about 9% cheaper. Your electric bill, your water bill, utilities are about 9% below the average too. Even your doctor's visit is coming in around 4% cheaper here than most of the country. Compare that to Austin, compare that to Dallas. Houston is still the most affordable of the big three Texas cities. And compare to Los Angeles or New York, that's not even close, y'all. Put it in real terms. A family that's used to a $600 grocery run every 2 weeks in California is walking out of the H-E-B here paying closer to $540 for that same exact cart. A $250 electric bill in the middle of the summer starts looking more like $220. It's not one giant windfall, it's hundreds of small ones stacking up every single month, whether you're renting a one-bedroom or running a household of 5. Now, let's talk about the person making a normal paycheck, not $1 million, not even $200,000, just a regular working income, trying to buy their very first home. Here's the truth. Median home prices in Houston right now sits around $335,000 to $360,000. To comfortably afford that, you need a household bringing in somewhere around $91,000 a year, $91K. And I already hear the next thing you're thinking. You're saying, Armando, I don't make $91,000 a year. This video isn't for me. So hold on, don't check out on me yet. There are neighborhoods right now. We're talking Katy, Pearland, parts of Baytown, where starter homes are sitting in the low $200,000 up to $300,000. And on top of that, the city of Houston will hand a qualified buyer up to $50,000 toward their down payment. Forgivable, no interest, and most people don't even know this exists because nobody's out there telling about it. So that's the whole reason I'm sitting here in front of the camera right now instead of just texting my own clients. So before we get into the luxury side, let's talk about something people don't put a dollar sign on but should. Houston doesn't have a traditional zoning like most big cities. That sounds like a small technical detail, but here's what it actually means for you. More land, bigger lots, more room to build a garage and maybe an extra bedroom, a shop in the back for your tools. And you're not fighting a city planner every time you want to put up a fence. That same $300,000 that gets you a cramped condo somewhere on the coast gets you a real home here with a real yard in a real neighborhood. And if you got kids, hear what matters to you more than any tax bracket. You have Katy ISD, Cypress, Fairbanks, Pearland ISD. These districts are consistently ranked among the best in the state, and they sit on top of some of the most affordable starter home inventory in the entire metro, baby. That means you're not choosing between a good school and an affordable home. In a lot of Houston suburbs, you get both in the same zip code. Now, some of you watching this are thinking, Armando, this all sounds great if you got a remote job or if you're already rich. What about the rest of us? And that's a fair, honest question. And here's the honest answer. Houston's economy isn't just oil and gas anymore. It's the Texas Medical Center, the largest medical complex on the earth. It's the Port of Houston. It's aerospace, construction, logistics, real jobs, blue collar and white collar, side by side, not just tech salaries propping up the whole city like you see in Austin. Now, flip the script completely. Let's talk about the person selling a $2 million home in Malibu or Manhattan, moving to Houston with cash and options on the table. River Oaks, Memorial, these are the neighborhoods people whisper about at the closing tables. Median sales prices in River Oaks right now sits above $2.5 million. And some of these estates are trading hands for $10 million, $20 million, even higher. And that same buyer coming out of a high tax state is often keeping six figures a year the moment they land here. And it's not just individuals making this move. Chevron relocated its entire headquarters here from the Bay Area. Devon Energy planted its flag in Memorial City. When companies move their executives, those executives aren't renting apartments. They're buying in the neighborhoods I just named. And they're doing it in cash more often than you think. So remember Mike sitting in my truck outside that house in Katy? He wasn't rich, he wasn't buying a mansion, but 3 months after that conversation, he closed on a home for less than half of what his place sold for back in California. Same size family, same size dreams, completely different price tag. And that's not luck. That's just what the math looks like right now on both ends of the spectrum. So I promise you the truth, not a sales pitch, y'all. So here it is, plain and simple. Homeowners insurance. We're going to be talking about homeowners insurance. It's a monster. In Texas, averages around $4,600 a year. That's almost double the national average. And if you're anywhere near a flood zone, oh my gosh, you could be adding another $1,500 to $2,000 a year in flood insurance right on top of that. Some homes even more. Nobody wants to put that on a postcard. You deserve to know it before you sign, not after. So ask yourself, would you rather know the full cost up front and plan for it like an adult, or find out after you've already moved your whole family 1,300 miles? I think you already know your own answer to that one. So here's the part that tells you everything you actually need to know. Over 90,000 people moved into the Houston area last year alone, most of them from California, New York, Illinois, and Colorado. Chevron picked up their headquarters and moved it there. Devon Energy did the same. Other major employers are following right behind them. People don't uproot their entire lives, their kids' schools, their friend group, everything they know for just a maybe. They do it because when you add up the taxes, the insurance, the home prices, and the paychecks, Houston still comes out ahead of almost every major city people are leaving behind. So let me ask you something before we wrap this up. What's actually keeping you where you're at right now? Is it the job? Is it the family down the street? Or is it just fear of the unknown? The same fear Mike had sitting in my truck? Here's what I want you to walk away with today. This isn't a fairy tale. It isn't a trap either. It's a trade-off. You give up a little bit here, you gain a lot over there. And the question was never whether Houston is perfect. Nothing is. The real question is whether it's the right trade for you and your family at your price point with your numbers. So let me leave you with a couple of things to sit with. If your money wasn't a deciding factor at all, would you still want to live here? And if you're already living here right now, knowing everything I just laid out to y'all, would you make that same decision all over again? Drop your answer in the comments. I love to see it. I read every single one of them. And if you're seriously weighing a move, whether you're buying your very first home or your fifth one, reach out to me directly. I'll walk you through exactly the way I walked it for Mike. Straight, honest, no fairy tales. And now everything I just gave you was the affordability side. Money in, money out, but there's a whole other side to this decision that has nothing to do with dollar signs. So if you want the real pros and cons of living in Houston, Texas, the stuff that actually determines whether you're happy here, not just whether you can afford it, click right here. I already broke it all down for you in the next video. I'll see you over there. Talk soon.